texting, you're still trying to get in. Everybody, just remember you can mute your phones. You can also star 6. That will mute you, especially if you're cooking or you're with the kids. You're outside, you're in the car. You can also star 6, guys, to get back on. This is a call that we do that is informal. It is interactive. It's for you so that we can share our suggestions, our testimonies, our experiences. You can ask questions. And this is all around Sunrider and Sunrider's food products. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to actually start, and we'll let the beeps just keep on coming. I might actually just drink a SunnyFresh before I begin. Hold on one sec. All right, everybody. So welcome to tonight's call. This is your weekly Tuesday night call. I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees, and I'm going to host this call this evening. We've been doing this call for many, many years, and I want to always thank Mac for taping this for you. He posts it for you on the Rising Stars page, so thank you very much. I want to jump in and say, anybody, guys, who has a question or you've had something that has been, I know, as some of you are already texting, stunning for you, you've had an experience this week, you want to share, remember, all your experiences are good ones. Even if it's as simple as I used SunBreeze on my mosquito bites. Everything helps, right? Somebody else who's listening, who may be new, or maybe has not tried the product for that reason. So guys, please step up, share your experiences, okay? So tonight's call is all about, as always, Sunrider, and I have many degrees. Some of you are texting and asking. Okay, so again, I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees. I have been with Sunrider over 20 years. I have used the products personally, raised all 4 of my children with the Sunrider foods, also used them solely in my practice. I have been a doctor of nutrition for also over 20 years. I have been a doctor of nutrition at Stanford, at the university, at the hospital, also at their facility for infertility. My doctorates specialized both in children's nutrition and allergies, and also on the female endocrine system, or hormones. And so I have a lot of education in the field of the body and how the body responds to foods. My other degrees are in biology. So the reason for me that I have loved, used, shared, built a secondary income with Sunrider, shared it with so many of you, have a large business, is because I want to share this from this approach, that at first I used these foods personally. I had my own health challenges, and I was a student in Japan. I was at the university. I was an exchange student. I spent my junior year in college at Sophia University in Tokyo. And believe it or not, guys, I was majoring in political science, communication, and Japanese. It had nothing to do with nutrition or the body, but I had my own health challenges, something called endometriosis. And it was my own imbalance of the endocrine system. And after many years of surgeries and treatments, 19 surgeries, and lots of hospitalization while I was in Japan, I actually had a flare-up and found myself in the hospital there. And as I've shared with you many times, I was always, and will forever be grateful and amazed that as part of their medical team, there was their MD, also their doctor of nutrition and doctor of herbology. And they came in together to see me in the hospital. And each one had a role in both my treatment, but also my recovery. And part of my recovery was my follow-up. And my follow-up was outside of Tokyo. I went to see one of the physicians, and he turned out to be a traveling physician also, and professor at Amherst College, which is near where I am here in Massachusetts, in Boston, right next to my university, the University of Massachusetts. And he was able to share with me that there was a company that when I felt better and I came back to the United States that he wanted me to look up. And it was called Sunrider International. And he believed that the foods actually would make a difference in rebuilding my body, just as food. As I've shared before, he had me sit at a wok in his kitchen while he picked vegetables from his garden and actually stir-fried before I was even examined, and really shared with me the concept of what food could really do. And that although the medicine was very important for my body, short-term, and some of it maybe long-term, that food ultimately was what would allow for my body to rebuild and regenerate itself. And when I came back to the United States, I immediately looked for Sunrider, the company, but I also investigated the field of nutrition and the field of nutrition and hormones and endometriosis and other endocrine disorders. And I learned there was not a whole lot of research at that time. And I decided to make it my passion and my mission to do that research. And that's how I began my doctorate, or my secondary education in this field. So what started as really my own journey to heal myself became a passion and a mission for me to actually share what actually began to work and to study and research. And I ultimately grew a practice and a career. But one of the greatest highlights were the Sunrider foods. And as I've told many of you many times, I learned about Sunrider from a nutritionist in Chicago. When I came back to the United States, my aunt found her, and I flew to Chicago, and I bought what we now call the NBC, or Wellness Pack, and began my own journey. And again, the beauty of it, which I loved, was that it was food. And that although I may not love the flavor, or I may not love the texture, or that I had to learn how to make a smoothie, I started to really understand the concept that if I fed my body enough of the right nutrition, and my body could actually digest it and absorb it, and it could use it for fuel, it actually could feed my cells, and my cells could do the miracle, right? Because our bodies are the miracle. We have to put the best quality nutrition and the right combinations in. And what I started to see was that this Sunrider had the best nutrition, and my body was absorbing it. And it wasn't magic, and it wasn't instant. It took some time. But as I learned, the reality was day by day, as I put correct nutrition in my body, every single day, there was more repair being done. And so over the years, I have shared this many, many times, because we all look for these instant quick fixes. And one of the reasons I loved the concept of Sunrider was the concept that what we eat today ultimately gives us the quality of our future, or the quality of our life a year from now, 10 years from now. We're not just eating to mask a headache, right? We're not just eating because we have a symptom. We're actually eating the Sunrider foods to build systems. And sometimes those systems are deficient and they don't work as well as they can. And sometimes they are very proficient. And actually we eat to keep them well and to prevent. And it's a balancing act, right? Every single day. Sometimes we have more stress. Sometimes we have less stress. Sometimes we have ill health. Sometimes we have wonderful health. The bottom line is the food builds the system regardless. And then our bodies can actually do this miraculous recovery or regeneration, because it can convert all those nutrients, right, into repair, renew, and Sunrider's philosophy of regeneration. And so Dr. Chen created a company that allowed for us to eat the best quality food, but in a very digestible form. And then they concentrated it. So they took 10 pounds, or let's say 10 carrots, and they took all the nutrition in its whole food form. Think of that carrot in its carrot shape and form. And they were able to, with their brilliance and knowledge, to actually take the nutrition and keep it stabilized this way and spray dry that onto one carrot. So when you eat that one carrot, you're actually getting the nutrition of 10. That to me was life-changing, because there's no way that I or you could consume that quantity of food, digest it, absorb it, without getting a bellyache, and to do that every single day. But Sunrider, again, in their brilliance, were able to find a way to put the right combination of herbs together, because that's their background in herbology, in medicine, and nutrition. And at the same time, give you products that not only nourished, but also allowed the body to cleanse. Meaning that whatever residue or whatever we breathed in from the environment that wasn't healthy for us any longer, probably wasn't healthy for us to begin with, but what isn't healthy, that the cells could actually release. And by supporting and strengthening the function of your kidneys, or the function of your cleansing organs, or even your skin, what you'll notice when you eat, use, and consume the Sunrider products is that sometimes our N, which is nourishing, they're building herbs. And sometimes they're B, they're balancing our system. And sometimes they're actually C, they're cleansing. And this is important to understand, because a lot of you will email and say, is it normal that I'm urinating so much, or that my skin broke out for a few days, or I have a slight headache? When we are cleansing and our organs and our systems are working properly, sometimes, yes, you may have what looks like, I call it a healing cleanse. And that can last a few days. And sometimes you may feel like your skin is itchy. Sometimes you may feel like you're in the bathroom. Allow it to pass, guys. Drink some more water. This is something that is necessary. And so as you're looking and we're talking about the Sunrider products tonight, I want you to keep in mind how the body operates, We take nourishing food in, and we allow for what the body doesn't need to flush out. That is also true for fat. So a lot of times when you're using and consuming the Sunrider foods, your bowel movements may look a little different. Or you may say, oh my goodness, Again, I'm in the bathroom a lot. Remember, it's important that we allow our bodies to cleanse. Just as important as we allow them to be nourished, and just as important as we allow them to be balanced. All right? Now, I'm going to just start right here and jump into a couple of the questions, and then I'm going to ask you all to step in and share how some of these products have worked for you. All of you responded to our theme last week on allergies and still had more questions. So I'm going to continue this topic tonight, all right, on allergies and what it looks like. What Sunrider foods, I loved this question, what Sunrider foods actually help if my skin is dry, or my skin is itchy, or my children seem to have allergies? These are really important questions, and a lot of times, guys, we might answer them once and then pass on by. So I'd like to hold on and continue the conversation. I want to start with something that, again, will surprise you a little bit. I want to start with a product that's called Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. And you will see it. It's called Sun Smile Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. And if you go to Sunrider's website and you look at the shop page, which is in a green box, and you click on, you'll see some will say food and drink, some will say, this will say home. You can click on it, and this is a product that's called Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. And Sunrider has created, in my opinion, when it comes to allergies, one of the best products we've got. It states, and I'm clicking right on the product fact sheet, allergies most of the time, something that we got into, touched, breathed in, right? Not always just an allergic reaction, but a reaction anyway. It can be reactionary or it can be an allergy. Either way, it's irritating and distressing. So wash away dirt and pesticide. And pesticides, guys, we know when they're sprayed in the air, they're sprayed on people's lawns, right? They are in all sorts of cleaning products. For all of us who've been into the stores, there's so many chemicals now being sprayed in there that a lot of you have found that you are having to, right? You're having to put a little SunBreeze in your mask before you put it on so that you can breathe actually in the store, or you're just using some SunBreeze on a tissue to breathe in. But I promise you that one of the greatest contributors to allergic reactions is pesticides. It can make your lips itch, it can make your skin itch, it can make your throat itchy. And so it's very, very important. This is not something I take lightly. It's very important when you buy all your produce, whether organic or not, okay? Because even if it's organic, it doesn't change the fact that people have touched it. And we don't know what was on their hands. And we also don't know versions of bacteria from hygiene. So we always want to take a step that is actually empowering for all of us, that allows for the allergens, right? Or for the pesticide to be removed. And that is with the Sunrider fruit and vegetable rinse. All your produce, from your grapes to your broccoli to your lettuce. I don't care if it's even you're growing it outside in your own garden. We still have air contaminants. I still want you to wash it. And so what Sunrider states is that you can wash away dirt, pesticide, waxy coatings. And I want to stop there for a minute and remind you that when you're in the store and all of the produce looks very pretty and shiny, like the shiny apples, buy the bag of apples that don't look so shiny. The shiny apple really has a waxy coating on it. And the pesticides can get locked in under that waxy coating. And unless you remove that waxy coating, you're eating the pesticide. And as I've shared before, a lot of you then think that you're allergic to that fruit or that vegetable when actually you're having a reaction to the pesticide. So we wash away the waxy coating, the pesticide, the dirt, and other contaminants. This is safe, natural, and healthy. It's made from eco-friendly corn and coconut sources, which I love. Our super concentrated biodegradable rinse, right? We rinse thoroughly the fruits and vegetables. In minutes, you will notice that they change color, such as they become brighter. I always use the analogy of when I'm cooking greens or green beans and we shock them in cold water and their deep green hue stays. When you're using the fruit and vegetable rinse, you'll notice the hue of your vegetables and your fruits get very bright. The quality that you're looking for in your fruit and vegetable will then be apparent. It'll taste better. It's got a longer shelf life. But also, you don't have to worry about anyone being reactionary to it. This, in my opinion, is critical for every home and everybody today, because we do not know any longer, right? When someone's coughing or they're putting their hand to their mouth and then they're touching all the produce when they're in the stores. Who's got what? So bring it home and wash it. The other thing I want to remind everybody is, although many stores and many companies will state that they have a version of a fruit and vegetable rinse, it's not the same. And it doesn't have our version of concentration. It's not made the same from the surfactants of corn and coconut. It's also not necessarily healthy for you. This is actually healthy for you. This will also take care of things like killing things like staph and strep that linger on produce when someone's coughed on it or touched it. a lot of the time, we have to start at the beginning with what are we actually putting in our mouth? Are we actually cleaning it? A lot of you are already emailing me saying, I'm actually shocked. I have the Sunrider product at home. I don't use it much. I thought water did the same thing. Water does not get rid of any of these pesticides. Water will bead off the waxy coating. It won't kill any bacteria. It won't take care of mold and mildew. And a lot of times, guys, when you are even purchasing things like your eggs, your potatoes, right? Wash everything. I take one capful, fill up my sink, put all of my produce in it, let it air dry, and we're good to go. They have a small, what looks like a trial size, which I use in the car. And we use wherever we go, that if we buy an apple or I grab an orange, we put a drop or two on it, wipe it around. And that's very important because it immediately will take care of all of this pesticide and all of the bacteria. And then I can feel safe that my kids won't have an allergic reaction. So remember, guys, first and foremost, you have allergies to pesticide. You're reactionary. And when you start to notice the corners of your mouth or your lips are itchy, you start to notice your tongue is irritated. You have to ask yourself, what did I eat? And before you accuse the fruit vegetable, I want you to look at the idea of the pesticide on it or something that was sprayed near it. The other piece for everybody is the shelf life, in my opinion. As a parent, I'm thrilled with the shelf life that I get from my grapes and the produce. Okay, something simple. Someone just asked the question, is this safe for everybody? This is safe for everybody. Okay? And you can wash everything in it. There's no added chemicals. There's nothing here that will harm anybody. All right? This will only help and it will only soothe, right? So when I say soothe, I mean a lot of you get the allergies orally in your mouth. Itchy throat, remember, scratchy, itchy, your cheeks start to feel inflamed, corners of your mouth, lips tingle, become itchy, skin becomes itchy. A lot of you will have kids, you've told me, actually touch an orange and the palm of their hand actually gets itchy. So I want you to remember also, for a lot of you, when you're taking hikes, when you're outside, when you are gardening, just be aware with allergies how important it is to remember that what's sprayed in the air doesn't mean you sprayed it, but it's still there. So when you're done being outside, please, I've said this before, please go in, take a shower, change your clothes, and use, as I've said, something that re-pHs, pH your skin again, because your skin, I know how many of you have allergies on your skin, the little bumps, the itchy patches. Use Sunrider's Beauty Bar or their liquid soap. And then I want you to add to that the hand and body lotion. And the reason that I'm saying this is because something that I realized last week when a few of you emailed, that a lot of you forget to seal in the moisture in your skin. So you end up with more allergic reactions on your skin, especially if you're outside a lot, even if you're playing sports. Sunrider has a product called Hand and Body Lotion. And I'm just going to click on the product page because I want you to hear this. The Hand and Body Lotion deeply moisturizes dry skin, okay, with natural emollients and herbal extracts. You'll feel the difference the moment the lotion touches your skin. So will your children. We designed the superior lotion to work in harmony with the body's natural pH balance. It's enriched with vitamins and antioxidants to nurture and protect your skin. It's ideal for everyday moisturizing. Sunrider also states, and this is equally as important, that the formula for the Candescent Hand and Body Lotion is based on the philosophy, just like the internal foods of regeneration. The belief that we should nourish and cleanse the body to reach balance and thus optimal health. As the largest organ in the body, the skin breathes, absorbs nutrients, and expels waste. Like the rest of our organs, it must be nourished and it must be cleansed. This is why Sunrider doesn't use anything like mineral oil or inferior ingredients, which will clog your pores and suffocate your skin. Instead, we use only the finest plant-based ingredients. This is important for everybody, but especially when we're dealing with allergies. You want to make sure, whether you're dealing with internal allergies or external, that your skin is your organ that cleanses, just like the kidneys. And so you want to nourish it, you want to protect it, you want it to breathe, and you want to remember everything inside and outside that you breathe in through your nose, your skin also breathes in. Anything that touches your skin immediately gets into your cells and into your bloodstream. You can have reactions that you don't know where they came from. But pesticide and chemicals is a big, huge contributing factor to the whole allergy movement, and why so many are having, especially this year, are having so many allergies, and why the skin is so inflamed for so many of you. Okay? So I want to remind you that as important as everything Sunrider makes that we ingest, it's equally as important to take care of your skin. So we've got the fruit and vegetable rinse to get rid of the pesticides. We've got the beauty bar or the liquid soap to pH balance the skin again after being out and about. And then we've got the hand and body lotion, which will make sure that it seals in the pH balance with natural vitamins and emollients and antioxidants, so that whenever you go back outside, or you find yourself in the stores, or you find yourself not understanding why you're itchy or having the bumps again, you'll notice so much healing, especially on the children, but especially for anyone who's got the dry skin, the eczema, all of the patches, the bumps, or you're just noticing, goodness, my palms are itchy now, right? My hands are dry and itchy. This is a year where we have used many different products, but we've also been exposed to many different products. And when I say products, I mean chemicals and pesticides. All right, so this is a little bit of a back door, but I want you to always remember, because we spend a lot of time on the internal, how important it is to pH your skin, to heal and soothe, but also to store, right? We want to store the nutrients internally, but we also want to, once we've placed them on our skin, we want to seal them. And you'll notice that kind of like water as it beads off, right? The waxy coating, some of those pesticides won't have a way to break through, and that's our goal, that they don't have a way to break through your skin. All right, with that said, I want to go to a product that a lot of you know and like, and Dr. Ruben Chen spent some time on it not that long ago, and you heard me a little while ago say I was going to drink it, and that is something that is called SunnyFresh. And I'm bringing this back up because there were a lot more questions on it, and one of the questions was, during the springtime, I have an itchy throat, and I have a lot of mucus, and I get laryngitis, and there's a lot of irritation in the mouth and in the throat. And one of the questions was if the allergies could be contributing to that. Absolutely, positively, they are contributing to that. And would SunnyFresh help? The answer is absolutely yes, 100% yes. So if you're the person, right, that has the itchy throat, the scratchy throat, you have all that mucus, your nasal passageways drain, you notice that you get a little bit of laryngitis or the cough, I want you to start with SunnyFresh, and I want you to hear what Sunrider says. Our loquat or luscious loquat, which is a fruit, but the luscious loquat and honey syrup is infused with a blend of aromatic herbs like licorice, peppermint, and cloves to quickly relieve sore throat pain, coughing, and scratchiness. And again, as I'm learning, a lot of you have never tried it or buy it once a year. This is a must seasonally, a must, but wonderful for everybody who deals with that scratchy throat from allergies. Sunrider also states that not only does it do wonders to the throat, but also cools it. And so that cooling effect is very important when you have a lot of heat, when you're noticing that there's a lot of inflammation, right? In your throat, in your larynx, in your esophagus. We've talked about it for digestive properties also. But I really want you to think about how it feels when you have allergies and you're coughing, or your throat is just itchy and it won't stop, or your nose keeps draining, right? Or you notice, my goodness, I am finding that I'm losing my voice frequently. Now, although a lot of you use this because maybe one of you just said, I sing in my church choir and I love this. That's wonderful. But I'm asking you to think about this daily versus only on a need basis. Think about it if you're someone with allergies, or you're someone that does have the scratchy throat or the nasal drainage. I want you to try this. You will be very, very surprised, and I have a strange suspicion you will actually be one of those that says, I have found my product I will never be without. One of the products that I wanted to cover tonight to answer this question about allergies had to do with when we talked for a minute about the NBC, right? We have herbs that nourish us. We have herbs that cleanse us. But we also have herbs that balance. And balance means that we build and we feed the systems of the body. Sunrider focuses on 5 major systems: digestion, circulation, endocrine or hormones, upper respiratory, your lungs, immune, which is your defense system, and actually has a product we call Quinary. And Quinary is the number 5 in Chinese that actually feeds all 5 of these major systems. Each one of these systems, Sunrider has put 10 very concentrated and very unique herbal vegetables together. And the goal is to build and stabilize and secure and regenerate and prevent all these 5 systems from becoming imbalanced. One example of imbalance, right, if you think about it, is when we think about allergies. And how if we have a system like our upper respiratory system, and we're in a chronic state where we're always struggling with breathing or sore throat or drainage from our sinuses, or we're struggling, right, with an allergic reaction all the time, that system gets tired. And that system requires more food, more nourishment. And really, deficiency or imbalance, in my opinion, comes from tired systems. That's really where it all began. We just have a system that is exhausted. And the Quinary feeds all 5 of those systems. So when you take one of those Quinary powder packets, a lot of you call them sachets, but it looks like a little powder packet. There's actually 2 capsules from each of those 5 systems, all right, to feed all the functions, all the organs of your body. Because those systems, think about it, regulate all those organs. I may say upper respiratory, but think about it. Think about your lungs. Breathe, right? Think about everything from your lungs. Think about your stomach, your gallbladder, right? Your pancreas. Think about your organs. Your 5 systems regulate all of your organs. And so sometimes when the system is just tired, you start to notice those organs get a little worn out and you start to have flare-ups. That's what allergies look like, flare-ups. Some of you get swollen, right? You have lots of inflammation. Some of you have the inflammation all through your body. Some of you, it's in your sinuses. Some of you, it's in your throat. Some of you may have asthma. You may find that you are chronically and constantly, right, struggling with the season of just breathing. Some of you, it's skin. It's all skin related or scalp. And trust me, next week I'm going to bring in the shampoo and conditioner. It's scalp related. You notice flare-ups of eczema, again, psoriasis. You start to realize the skin, right, is one of allergies, honestly, favorite spots to go to. Just as significant for a lot of you as the lungs. And so the liquid 5 is one version of Quinary. So we have it in powder, we have it in capsules, and we have a version that's called liquid 5. It's actually liqui, like LIQUI-5. And it really is the same, but it's in a different form. It's in a vial and it's a liquid. And for some of you, you do well with this. You find that the powder for some of you works wonderful. Some of you love capsules, but there's a large percentage of you that keeps emailing about liquid 5. So I want you to hear what Sunrider says. This convenient, concentrated liquid form of our best-selling Quinary combines 5 best-selling Sunrider formulas into one super drink. It's infused with nearly 50 Chinese herbs, like the powerful Chinese yam, Chinese white flower, dandelion root, licorice root. Liquid 5 brings your body's immune, circulatory, digestive, endocrine, and respiratory system into balance. It's the ultimate foundation for optimal health and vitality. That's the key here. It is the ultimate foundation. And because so many of you struggle with allergies in different ways, it becomes very important to nourish all 5 systems together and allow for your body to be in a building phase and a balancing phase versus just treatment. You will notice that Sunrider also states that they combined, right, their 5 best-selling formulas because, right, as we've talked before, we have Assimilate in here, which we know is digestion. We have Conco, which is respiratory. We have Alpha-20C, which is immune. We have Prime again, which is endocrine. And we have Lifestream, which is circulation. And after you drink or you use the powder version of the Quinary, if you already know you have a system that is more deficient or more tired and you're noticing that you're having more reactions, such as with allergies, we've talked a little bit about this before. If I know that during the spring or during this season or post this year, right, with just wearing a mask, that maybe my respiratory system needs a little extra nourishment, I'm not going to forsake nourishing all of my systems. I'm going to nourish all of them. And then I'm going to infuse my body with a little extra of maybe 1 or 2 of the systems, like Conco, or as Richard talked about, Conco and Prime again. Some of you emailed me this week that your allergies are digestive, that you notice that you get very swollen and bloated. And so I'm going to share the same thing. Quinary, and then extra assimilate. For a lot of you, because the skin, right, is the largest organ, actually is, because it's the prime area for allergies or reactions to occur, forget that Quinary actually helps balance the skin. And so when you drink or consume the Quinary, you're actually nourishing the skin also. And we like to call it the sixth system, the skin. And so when we're thinking of how do I improve myself, how do I go forward in a time where my allergies feel out of control, which is what a lot of you wrote, I want you to always remember that NBC Nourish Balance Cleanse is always the best place to begin. But my favorite when it comes to allergies is the Quinary, because it feeds all your system, all of them. So wherever you're having the reaction or the response, we're building it up. We're strengthening it. And the gain with this is dramatic, because sometimes we don't know that that lingering headache that you get, and it lasts, and you don't know why it's still there, and you're on a mission, right, to take care of the headache. A lot of you don't know that is an allergy, that is seasonal, or that it's your child who has a constant throbbing headache, and you say, but I've used the top or the Vitus spray, and I don't understand. I want to remind you that as you build the systems, they get stronger versus just treat. And Quinary builds all the systems. And that does include, guys, right, your brain health. And that's another question one of you just asked, which was, when we're thinking of the systems, it's the first time I've heard anyone say this, you started to think about them from the neck down. Guys, 5 systems are the entire body, not the neck down. And so I think for some reason a lot of you thought that when you're dealing with the neck up, it's really just top. But when we're talking about allergies, think of your nose. It's right. It's on your face. It's the neck up. Think of the headaches. Think of, for a lot of you, it's pressure behind your ears. I'm giving you some symptoms, right? We're talking that the Quinary nourishes the whole body. All systems affect the whole body. And our goal, remember, build. Now, the Liquid 5, because I've had 4 children, and I can kind of like tag on to this. This is easy. This is easy. The liquid version was very easy, guys, for me to mix in sippy cups. It was very easy. My children would open the vial and actually drink it. Not once did I say it doesn't taste good, because as a parent, but also as a doctor of nutrition, I'm always on parents and people who chronically say it doesn't taste good in front of people, which puts right in their head it doesn't taste good. So we want to emphasize that it either tastes good or say nothing. You will find that because it's immediately absorbed into the bloodstream, it's a liquid. For a lot of you, especially some of you who really have digestive issues, liquid's better. All versions work. Powder works, capsules work. But for a lot of you, Liquid 5 works. For children, I have found this has been my answer. For myself personally, I find that I can take the vial and I actually can take it with me wherever I go, open it up and drink it. So for an example, after a very long day today, I was thinking to myself as I was talking to my cousin, which product would help me feel better today? I want to take a walk. I am reactionary to a lot of situations with the kids today. And I immediately thought of Liquid 5 because it's how I used to help my kids. It was soothing, but I knew it would nourish and build everything. My eyes were itchy. My nose was itchy as I was walking. I had my vials with me. I opened up that vial and drank it. on my walk. And what fascinated me was, one, how much better I felt, how the low-grade headache disappeared, how the itchy eyes. Now, we're not talking cure. I'm just talking I fed myself, right? But I love the idea that we can nourish ourselves to feel better. So for me, I've always had some allergies, and the itchy eyes and the low-grade headache are mine. And Liquid 5 works for me every single time. My favorite part of the Liquid 5, guys, is that you do not have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a nutritionist. You don't have to know which herb do you need and which combination to feed which system. Dr. Chen did that for you. And they're feeding your whole body all at once, so that after you have used the fruit and vegetable rinse and gotten rid of the pesticides, right? And you have used, right, the liquid soap, and you've used the beautiful, right, our liquid version of a moisturizer, the hand and body lotion, and you have taken care of your skin, and you have now used something like SunnyFresh, so that the itchiness, right, and the reactions are improving. And then you start to build those systems, so that wherever you're having your reactions from, all systems are being built. And if you are someone that knows, every year I get the same thing and I just would like to build a little bit stronger my immune system, you absolutely go for it and consume more alpha-20C. But again, not in place of building and feeding all systems. Because again, as I started with, guys, most of the time when our systems start to kind of go kaflooey, they really got tired. And allergies exhaust people. They're exhausting. And so we want to take care of the whole body, all systems, because we never know which systems they really are impacting. And the last one I wanted to cover today, and then I'm going to open it up to you guys, was one that works every time and very important, and that's our aromatherapy SunBreeze. So many of you are using aromatherapy, and you're using essential oils from a lot of companies, which is it's terrific, but you forget about SunBreeze. And in my opinion, I always start whole food regeneration first. SunBreeze, just as it sounds, the heat of the sun, the coolness of a breeze, right? Sometimes we need our bodies to improve upon, right? Such as when we're having itchiness, a reaction, a headache, there's a lot of heat, we need to cool it. Sometimes our hands and our feet are freezing. Our circulation isn't wonderful. We need to heat it up. SunBreeze is food grade. Therefore, not only does it get into our bloodstream and work, but it gets into our cells and bloodstream and regenerates. See, I'm always looking to what improves the quality of life, not just fixes it for a minute. I don't need the fix. I need everybody to have hope and a better future and improvement. SunBreeze absolutely smells like a combination, and is, of cinnamon and peppermint. It's the best of both worlds. It's heating and it's cooling. And when you have things like, for example, the headaches, and it's in the back of your neck or the forehead, or you notice, right, that it's coming on, all you have to do is put SunBreeze, whether the balm or the oil, on that spot. And it will immediately begin to relax it, cool it or heat it, improve the circulation, and you'll start to notice the amazing, and for me it is amazing, but the amazing gain within about 10 minutes. For some it's faster, where you start to notice the symptoms start to dissipate as it's helping the system. So whether it's putting it under the nose, right, to help open up the sinus cavities, reduce the swelling. A lot of you love to put it on your tongue, I know that, and it helps for you, the itchiness. A lot of you put the SunBreeze oil and you mix it with your hand and body lotion, a few drops, and you rub that on your body. So not only are you getting the moisturizing and the healing effects of the lotion, but you're also getting the cooling and the soothing and the heating effects topically from the SunBreeze. And that's a wonderful combination. And a lot of you that are on who are therapists in different ways, Reiki, massage, acupuncture, etc. I know a lot of you love that combination of the oil with the hand and body lotion. But the benefit, right? If there's excessive heat in the body and you put the SunBreeze on the bottom of your feet, you'll notice all of a sudden you'll cool down. If you notice that you have gotten bit, right? One of my children is highly allergic to venom, to bees. I used to carry, this is the truth, an EpiPen and SunBreeze. I wasn't sure which side I was going to all the time. And it was always SunBreeze, but I always had to have both because I had a highly allergic child. When you think about it, the simplicity of a sting or a burn or a reaction, that we have something that not only soothes, cools, but also begins the healing process. You start to see the wonder of what food can do and the brilliance of Sunrider. And in my opinion, it's life-changing, and it is forever, right? Forever. I would never be without this. So I want to ask you, how have you used these products? Does any of this make sense? And what have you done in addition for your allergies? And you can star 6 to unmute or just hit your unmute button, okay?
I've been using Sunny Days to help me breathe better.
I love that. So, Sunny Days. Tell me, are you sucking on them? Tell me what it feels like when you suck on your Sunny Days.
I was sucking on them because when I try to breathe through my nose better, well, actually, I'm taking Conco during the day, and then my nose gets really dry, but the Sunny Days help soothe it. So it's been helping.
So I love this answer, and all of you can go directly to their to the product site, and you can always look up Sunny Days. But think of SunBreeze in a lozenge form it's got the texture of almost a gummy, and it's got some chlorophyll in it, like your evergreen, and SunBreeze, and some lemon oil. But you'll notice that this is a version. This is very interesting because it's got the SunBreeze in it, and you can suck on them all day long. I love that you just said that. That's perfect.
It's a lifesaver for me right now.
Right? Listen to that, a lifesaver. So many, I really want to say this, have never used that product or have forgotten about it. And it's a lifesaver for somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. And the effect lasts really long because you can suck on it, and then it's amazing.
I have it sitting right here. I was sucking on them while I was having this call. So I appreciate that. It helps. I love that. See, I would have initially thought it helps with the throat, but here we've got it helps with her breathing. That's important. That's life-changing.
Yeah, and I'm on the phone right now. Actually, I'm working, so I've been pretty quiet because I got to get back on the phone.
Proud of you. Good job. All right, who else?
Erin.
Yes.
This is Lisa Howard.
Hi, Lisa.
I had a really nice hand and body lotion experience years ago because of the ingredients. I had talked to my teenage daughter at a time when you don't know how much they're really listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to her about not using any lotion that had mineral oil and why. And I had told her actually what the information on the Sunrider website says about not using mineral oil, that it suffocates. And my daughter called me. She was at a friend's house. She had gone swimming, taken a shower, and used a friend's hand lotion. And she goes, Mom, I just got to tell you, it's exactly what you said, which your mother loves to hear that to begin with. She said, I used this lotion, and she goes, I felt like my whole body was suffocating. I looked at the ingredients, and it said mineral oil. So that was an exciting experience, because then hand and body lotion was even more credible in our family.
Wow. You know what, Lisa? I promise you, 3/4 of the population do not know until this moment why mineral oil is not, is not good, or why certain, right, what suffocating feels like from a moisturizer. It's not taught. So I'm so impressed that you taught your daughter. I'm more impressed that she actually had the experience and grasped it and listened and probably taught her friend. But I'm hoping that what you just said, that others have just listened to. We want our skin to breathe. We want our skin to breathe. Thank you, Lisa. Can she come to my house? I have a daughter. I love that. Who else? Anyone else?
I have one, Karen.
Go for it.
Mine is golden seal fruit. Before Sunrider, I used to have a lot of allergies. Couldn't breathe a lot. And now I rarely do, but if I eat too much dairy or have sweet products, that type of thing, I can get just a watery note. But if I take 2 to 4 golden seal, it just stops. So that's my go-to.
That's a really good go-to. And it works for you constantly, like every time?
Yes, it does. In the old days, you had to go to the health food store, buy the powder, have either drink it in the tea, which was nasty. I forgot. I'm not supposed to say anything. It was interesting. About tea. But it worked then too. But of course, in Sunrider and the fact that we can use it daily, that was a very good piece of information. But I don't usually need to use it daily. But like I say, if I have, or eat cheese or do something like that, then I sometimes will again get a runny nose and put the golden to make it stop.
This is an important little tip. That's a very important tip, and I just want to remind everybody that I think this is a very good product fact sheet that Sunrider has. That Sunrider's golden seal is not traditional golden seal that you would buy at the health food store or even online. They are using what's called Chinese golden seal root and using in a food grade form. And if you take a look at what golden seal is about, it really is about reducing inflammation. But with real traditional golden seal, it destroys the good bacteria while being a beneficial medicinal herb. It can actually upset the stomach, but also can only be taken for a short amount of time. Sunrider's Chinese golden seal, as you're just listening to, can be used all the time or as needed and does not destroy the good flora or that good bacteria in your GI tract. And that's very important to know. And I'm just going to kind of end with this as I think this is really significant. Sunrider states here that the Chinese golden seal is regarded in Chinese medicine for its healing benefits. But the key here is the powerful herb soothes the mucous membranes and the respiratory tract. And it is important to understand that when your mucous membranes, when you have that runny nose or a chronic runny nose, or you have a lot of that upper respiratory mucus buildup, and you have all that swelling, this is a wonderful product. I mean, wonderful. And so I feel very safe having you use this all the time. And again, always look to Sunrider's information. I will always give you a recommendation on what a serving size is. But also, I love that we have all of us who've had experiences can say, in a pinch, this works. And I will add to that and say, I I have used this for so many years and am so grateful every time that there is that mucus buildup. This is my go-to also. So, guys, I hope all that information helped, and you can add to your nutritional toolbox, and we'll move on next week to a very different topic. But I'm going to ask Donna or Marlene to come on and share what calls are next, and I just want to thank you guys ahead for taking your time and joining tonight and participating. Marlene, I think I'm going to let you. I think Donna's already started her call.
Okay, I'm right here. All right, guys. Thank you again, Karen. Fantastic call. Such great information, of course. And the call coming up right now is Bob and Donna Dara Zoom call, Rising Stars Support Team call. And you can get that information if you just go to the Rising Stars Facebook page, and it will have the phone number or the Zoom link you can go right into.
Perfect. All right, everyone, have a healthy, wonderful, allergy-free week, and I'll speak with you next week. Good night, everyone.